Billy Graham.
Yeah.
You had the, I would say probably the honor of being a part of the Billy Graham Crusades when those were going on.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff with the BGA. I don't know if most people don't know that they do more than just show up for the big crusades. There's a lot of stuff that happens with churches in the major cities that Billy Graham was going to go speak in, months in advance. And so most of the time we got to do some of those smaller things through the years, especially starting out. And then we got to a point where we were able to do some Franklin Graham stuff and some other, they had some other speakers as well. We'd go do events. And then finally we got to do a Billy Graham event in Louisville with him. And it was towards the, later years of his life when he was about to retire. And I have this great picture of us, I want to say backstage, but it was in the end zone of the stadium.
Oh, cool.
And someone was driving him around on a golf cart, and he came up to us and shook our hands and gave us a blessing and prayed with us. And what an amazing memory, to get to do that. And I have a great story about Billy Graham when in 1991, I was telling you about my song 1991 of my testimony. So not long after that, I need to look up the date because he spoke in Atlanta at the new Georgia Dome that had been built, the football stadium. And DC Talk was going to be there playing it. And I was so excited because I'd first given my life to the Lord and I was so excited and went down there. And Billy Graham, I knew who he was, but I'd never really seen him preach a sermon before. I'd hear like little excerpts, but 30 seconds kind of things. He preached, and it was the most simple gospel message I ever heard. I was like, are you kidding me? He's going to give this invitation, and everybody knows this already. Nobody's going to come forward and respond to this at all. This is terrible. I can't believe you got tens of thousands of people here, and this is what you're going to share. And of course, what happens? Tens of thousands of people come forward to respond to the gospel. And it really taught me a lesson about it's not about the show and it's not about, this clever speaking. It's about sharing the simplicity of the gospel. And he taught me a lesson that day.
I love that. That's amazing. So you were in the crowd at one point in your life.
Yeah.
And then not too much longer later, you were performing.
Right.
Like what?
It's amazing.
Every time this bell rings, that's someone else liking this video. Wait on you. You make the bell ring. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's amazing. It was good because it was a good balance of not being right away.
Yeah.
I tell people that we were a 5-year overnight success because we had our times of playing for driving 10 hours through the night to go play for a youth group in Indiana for a love offering.
Yeah.
And realizing that a youth group doesn't have a lot of love to offer nobody.
No, they don't.
And, just being able to have those hard times of driving a lot in the van and trailers, being with your brothers, all the sights and the sounds and the smells and all that stuff in a van.
Bunch of guys in a van.
Yes. And for years, but at the same time, the Lord was always growing it. And it didn't feel like we were spinning our wheels. It felt like, okay, God's moving here. He's doing something. And when we first signed the first record deal we signed was an independent record deal. It was with a real small label. And we didn't even want to sign it, to be honest with you. We were too busy doing our own thing and kind of got talked into it. And then all of a sudden we were in some trouble with the label just because they weren't holding up their end of the bargain. And all of a sudden I'm giving you more information than you need, but
I love this.
I remember this. We were actually we were in St. Louis, and we were doing this youth event, and this probably was around 95.
Okay.
And we're just kind of moping around because we thought we had to break up for a couple of years to get out of this contract with this label. And we thought, what's going to happen? And how can you break up for 2 years?
Yeah.
And will we ever come back? And all this stuff. And this youth pastor at this thing that we were doing said, tell me what's wrong with you guys? You're just moping around. And we said, well, we're in this terrible situation with this independent label and we feel like the Lord's doing some stuff, but we can't get out of this contract. And he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be on Reunion Records because Rich Mullins is on Reunion Records and Michael W. Smith and all these great people that Wes King was this great singer-songwriter.
Wes King.
And so he said, we're going to pray for that. And I said, no, that's not. I'm a little Baptist boy. I'm not a name it, claim it kind of guy. He said, no, we're going to pray for what you want. Yeah. And the Lord wants to bless you. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm kind of rolling my eyes, but we prayed. About a week later, we get a call from Reunion Records. They want to come see us play in Tennessee. And And then they bought out our contract, and the rest is history. So, yeah, I don't even know how I got started on that, but yeah. But
That's
St. Louis
amazing.
has always been a big part of, of Third Day and of my career. So thank you, St. Louis, to that youth pastor, wherever you are now.
That's incredible. Man, I remember. Were you guys on Essential? Or was that the same?
Yeah. It went from Reunion to Essential.
Yes, I remember that shift. Oh, man. Rich Mullins, did you ever play with him?
I got a lot of great stories with Rich.
Yeah.
He's my favorite writer of all time. And just, as a fan of his, I didn't get to spend a lot of time. We were probably together about a dozen times, but out of that dozen times, I have so many great memories, and I'm so thankful for him.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, he definitely led the way in so many ways for our industry.
It helped me to know what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Showed up in his bare feet and he didn't care who, who was there and who said something about it. Yeah. I love that. Wow. Well, Mac, thank you for your time and for this great conversation and allowing the Joy FM listeners to get another look inside of who you are and just your time that you've been in this industry. It is, many people may not understand, the new listeners, maybe who are just finding out Joy FM in the last couple of years, that you and Third Day really have paved the way for so many other artists to be able to sing about Jesus and to be able to do it in a way that is relevant and meaningful and fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for all that you guys have done over the years.
I'm just happy to be here.
Hey, if you like this snippet with Mac Powell, you'll love the full interview.
Just be sure to click right here. We'll send you on over to the full interview.